We are live in 3, 2, 1.
The population of Utah Valley is going to double in the next 20 years, and we need a plan for all of that growth.
City elections are 1 week away, and candidates are focusing on Provo's future.
See everybody's hands, please.
Students participate in lockdowns to practice how to be safe in school.
Lori, you got a deal.
What happened? And 3 BYU alumni take Shark Tank by storm with their innovative idea. Welcome to NewsLine. It's Tuesday, October 29th. I'm Chris Jacobs.
And I'm Kim Peterson. New this morning, melting snow is making for slushy, wet roads, and the temperatures are freezing.
Our forecaster, Danny Hollows, is out there in the cold. Danny, why are we under a winter weather advisory if we're not seeing any snow?
I know it seems strange because we don't have a lot of snowfall right now, but the reason we're under this advisory for winter weather is because the temperatures are so low. It is freezing out right now, but our temperatures are not going to get much higher throughout the day, and then going into our lows tomorrow, we are going to be so cold. Now the problem with this temperature and little snowfall means that the wetness we do have on our roads is going to be getting out there in the morning for your commute. Maybe you're going to a practice in the morning. Those roads are going to be wet and slushy, which means that when we have those freezing temperatures, the roads are going to be very dangerous. So you're looking at a camera right now up in UDOT, up in Big Cottonwood Canyon. You can see those roads not great. So it's really a good time to put on those layers, cover your hoses, cover your plants, make sure that you're ready for the commute tomorrow because those temperatures are just going to keep dipping. I hope you guys are warm in the studio. I'll send it back to you guys, Chris and Kim.
Thanks, Danny.
Provo city elections are coming up in exactly 1 week, and 4 city council positions are up for grabs. NewsLine reporter Joseph Carson went to the panel. Joseph, what are the candidates talking about?
The issues that are getting the most attention this election have to do with 2 things: growth and budget.
And the biggest issue facing Provo at this point is financial sustainability. We've got to solve that.
Growth. The population of Utah Valley is going to double in the next 20 years, and we need a plan for all of that growth.
The rapid development that's happening, but I think that we need to take time to slow down for a minute and make a good plan.
Strengthening our businesses and attracting more businesses to Provo.
The city budget and development.
Economic development, trying to bring business back into Provo.
The Utah Valley Chamber of Commerce hosted a Q&A session with Provo City Council candidates. Some of the hot topics discussed were developments in rural West Provo and the East Bay Area, high-density housing, and economic expansion. Provo is a rapidly growing city, and candidates said making a good plan will be important for the city's future. Candidates also encouraged BYU students to get involved in the election.
Because they're paying taxes at our restaurants, they're paying taxes at our grocery stores, and it's up to us where those taxes go. So I really hope they'll participate and engage and vote in this election. Early
ballots can be dropped off at ballot boxes around the city, like this one at the Provo Library. Or voters can vote in person on Tuesday, November 5th at the Provo Rec Center. More information about the candidates can be found at www.provo.org. Make sure you're watching for those results next Tuesday, November 5th. Reporting for NewsLine in Provo, I'm Joseph Carson.
Thanks, Joseph.
A deadly accident along I-70 near Green River killed 2 people. Officials say Starla Leal and Trevor Manning from Huntington Beach, California, were driving west when they left the westbound lanes, rode the median shoulder, and then flipped over. Both were ejected when the car flipped. Officials took the 2 to the hospital where they soon passed away. And another California man is dead after a separate crash near Green River. Douglas Hughes was driving eastbound when he drove into the median, back across the eastbound lanes, and also flipped. Officials found the car upside down with Hughes inside and without a pulse. He was pronounced dead on the scene.
40 Utah firefighters are heading to California today to help battle raging wildfires in the Golden State. This deployment is part of the Emergency Assistance Compact, a state-to-state mutual aid system organized by emergency management agencies. The Utah firefighters will make up 1 Type 3 strike team and 1 task force. Their deployment will last 2 weeks.
The Lone Peak Police Department is apologizing after last week's lockdown mix-up. Last Friday, police personnel overheard a shooting threat at Highland High School and wrongly assumed that the threat was at Lone Peak High in the city of Highland. The mishap caused Lone Peak to go into immediate lockdown. Lone Peak police say, "We realized that this was a traumatizing event for students, faculty, and staff. Please accept our sincerest apologies for any stress or anxiety that may have occurred as a result. Measures have been taken to avoid such miscommunication in the future, and additional training will be provided. The Lone Peak Threat Friday raised a lot of awareness for student safety. NewsLine reporter Haley Davis is live in Provo. Haley, what happened Friday?
Yeah, Chris, the threat and lockdown at Lone Peak High School on Friday was a miscommunication, but it did remind a lot of students and families of the real danger safety can be at school.
Friday around noon, Lone Peak police contacted the high school alerting them of a possible threat, and the school immediately went into a lockdown. 3 hours later, the school and the premises were all cleared. This is something that schools from elementary to high prepare for and practice monthly.
See everybody's hands, please. Everybody have hands up?
Yes, sir. A school lockdown.
Is there anybody in here that shouldn't be?
Students are busy. They have homework, extracurricular activities, clubs, sports, and much more. And the threat of their safety at school should not be one of their daily concerns. To help with this concern, schools practice lockdown drills monthly.
When we have a shooting lockdown, we make sure that we close all the windows and all the doors, and we all have to make sure that we're at the designated area in that classroom, and then our teacher goes around and usually takes most of the phones until the administrators will come by and let us know that we can come out.
In September, Sandy Hook Promise, a nonprofit founded and led by family members who lost students in the shooting, released a chilling back-to-school commercial. In this commercial, students share dark testimonials about their new back-to-school purchases.
This jacket is a real must-have.
This commercial was released to bring awareness to the reality of the potential threat that students face attending school. And though it brought a lot of attention to the threat of school shootings, the safety precautions school administrators are taking is leaving students with positive reactions to the increasing danger.
That we're practicing how to do lockdowns.
Has always been a #1 concern for administrators, and these frequent practices of lockdowns as well as other safety procedures are overall positively affecting students and their feeling of safety at school.
Thanks, Haley.
Classes at Union Middle are starting up again after an electrical fire canceled school for 3 days. The Canyon School District says they closed the building so workers could have enough time to properly clean and ventilate the area. For now, students will only be attending classes on the ground floor while workers continue to ventilate the top floor.
A rule that would have allowed ATVs on certain roads in Utah's 5 national parks has been scrapped by the U.S. government 1 week before it was set to take effect. The National Park Service said Friday that it reversed course after consulting with Interior Secretary David Bernhardt. They concluded the rule wasn't necessary and declined to elaborate. The rule would have conformed to a Utah state law passed in 2008 that allows any street-legal vehicle on state and county roads. Instead, a long-standing ban on ATVs and off-road vehicles in national parks will remain in effect.
A Utah judge issued a temporary restraining order to overturn the partial ban on e-cigarette and vaping products. The Utah Department of Health issued the temporary ban to try and reduce the amount of vaping in illnesses and deaths. The ban only allowed specialty stores to sell flavored products, making general tobacco shop owners say the ban could actually put them out of business. The health department is now prohibited from enforcing that rule.
Three BYU alums jumped feet first into a shark tank and ended with the deal of their life, and a physical therapy ball was their bait.
NewsLine reporter Tori Gurr found out more on this televised experience.
Jared Ward and Shaquille Walker began their friendship running for the track team at BYU. Having their own personal recovery time as athletes, they joined up with Jono to create a customized recovery tool called the Meteor.
But what I was most excited about was I just loved the team, and the product was something that I resonated with.
Teaming up with the entrepreneurial teams at the BYU Rollins Center, they were able to get good resources.
Jono and Shaq set this business up really well, and they've partnered with strategic people.
The Meteor is compact and travel-friendly, even approved by TSA for carry-on baggage.
It's just a nice, easy recovery tool that I can throw in my backpack on a plane, or I can throw in my gym bag when I go to the gym, or I can have in my car.
Shark Tank approached the trio and the 3 fans said yes, but the waters were rough once inside the Shark Tank. Mark Cuban was the first to jump ship, and to muddy the water, 3 different sharks offered up deals.
I'll give you the same offer as Kevin.
And he's like, we have a good offer from Lori, I think we should take it. And so that's what we did.
Ward is feeling positive about the future.
And we were set up well to take advantage of all of the hype around this Shark Tank experience.
By creating the Meteor, 3 graduates proved their willingness to follow the motto, "Go forth to serve." Reporting for NewsLine, I'm Tori Gurr.
A woman and her father reunite after a decade apart.
And finding out that it's my birth father just, it wrecked me.
How a story about homelessness led to a woman to find her father.
A man was arrested in a New York City subway. We'll tell you what happened and why so many officers stormed into the subway car.
A Pennsylvania man slammed his car into several parked cars. We'll tell you why police were chasing him.
Every ugly doll is unique.
I'm Moxie.
Bobo.
Wait.
Call me Slick Doll.
What?
And every child is too.
They can be pretty lovable.
That's why when you travel, you should make sure your child is in the right seat for their age and size.
This is why you're the wisest doll in town.
Well, keep them safe by visiting nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Isn't that right, gibberish cat?
Couldn't be better.
Find the right seat today.
Sweetie. Okay, you know what? Let's take off his sweatshirt. Get rid of pictures of him. You don't have to look at him. Goodbye, Dave.
Mom, you don't understand. He's tagged in like 400 of my posts.
I can cut out tags.
No, that's not how it works.
What is a tag?
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care would love to share their first with you.
The White House's top official on Ukraine will testify this morning. Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman will appear on Capitol Hill and will tell impeachment investigators he was so troubled by President Trump's July 25th phone call with Ukraine's president that he reported his concerns to the National Security Council. Vindman is the first White House official to testify who listened in on the phone call at the center of the impeachment inquiry.
At least 16 fires now burning across California are forcing thousands to evacuate from their homes.
Go means go. And there's a mandatory evacuation. Listen to the experts.
The latest blaze, known as the Getty Fire, broke out early this morning in Los Angeles. The Getty Fire has now consumed hundreds of acres, destroyed at least 8 homes, and damaged another 5. So far, the flames in Sonoma County have scorched more than 66,000 acres and destroyed nearly 100 structures. Millions of people are now without power, and thousands are being kept from their homes.
Take a look at this video. It's very dramatic. It's a car chase that took place in Pennsylvania Monday morning. An entire block was startled from their sleep as a car crashed, banged, and smashed into several parked cars. Police say they had a short interaction with the suspected drunk driver before he sped off and lost control. The incident caused thousands of dollars of damage.
New York City police have released videos of ATM thieves in hopes of finding the suspects. NYPD says the masked men have pulled off the crime at least 5 times throughout New York City. But get this, they're not just taking the money, they're taking the entire ATM machine. Police say they have stolen thousands of dollars in the last 2 months. The New York Police Department is facing some tough criticism after a dramatic arrest on the subway train. Kenzie McGuire is here with more on the incident.
Last Friday, a video of a subway arrest in Brooklyn received over 3 million views, and it's drawing some harsh responses. The video was posted on Twitter and shows 19-year-old Adrian Napier sitting on the train with his hands up. Police rush onto the train with their guns drawn and arrest him for allegedly not paying the subway fare. Prior to the arrest, NYPD says a witness reported a man with a gun at the subway station, but it was unclear if the witness reported it was Napier or not. Now, the man who posted this video actually shared with us his experience about the situation and said that even when he was in the train and fully aware that the man might have a gun, the only scary thing about the experience was the response of the police. And NYPD Transit used their Twitter to give us a little bit more information, saying that what the video doesn't show is a credible witness alerting our officers to a man brandishing a gun. When officers approached the man in question, he fled into a subway station onto a train to escape. But people still feel like with even this information, the response of the police was a little too much. Yolanda, who's had her sons in the train car, actually said that her 10-year-old son came home inconsolable. And Julian Castro says that for the amount of money that actually this was over, it was a little bit dramatic, saying officers should be working to de-escalate, not putting dozens of lives at risk over $2.75. Now, this event only adds to the debate of whether New York should be given funding for 500 new police officers to combat fare evasion and subway crime. This incident is currently under investigation.
A year ago, we told you a story on the misconceptions and struggles the homeless community face. The story brought a surprising and unexpected family reunion. NewsLine reporter Berto Sanchez is here to tell us how the story brought together a daughter and her father. Berto, how did this happen?
When we think of the homeless community, we tend to forget that these people have families and that perhaps a family member might be looking for their loved ones.
And it was a video of my father, and he was being interviewed.
Homelessness comes from...
Really and Benjamin have been reunited. They are trying to make up for all the lost time they lost, and they both look forward in getting to know each other again.
So how did you hear about them being reunited?
Well, this woman, she saw our channel, and she called the universe and she called BYU to find out where her father was, and she finally found him.
Cool.
Yeah.
And can you tell me a little bit just like how this kind of led to this? How, you know, you said she saw it, but then how did it lead all the way to her meeting with her father?
Well, she just, started looking for him at the park. She called, police stations. She visited hospitals. She visited like shelters. So she did everything she could, and she finally found him.
Thank you, Berto.
Yeah.
Families flocked, flew, and slithered their way to the Bee Museum last night. The museum puts shows on for families every Monday night, but last night's event was full of creepier creatures than usual. Bella Erickson went to find out what all the howl was about.
I'm here at the Monty L. Bean Life Science Museum on Brigham Young University campus, where families are getting their scare on in a special Halloween-themed event. Staff members as well as families dressed to their Halloween nines for a scavenger hunt, prizes, and a spooky live animal show. Guest stars like a bearded dragon and a tarantula made their appearances while kids gasped and giggled. Some parents say that themed nights help get their kids more engaged in the museum, especially if they have younger kids. These little learners mean a lot to Marie Benner, a museum educator who wants to see more kids come to the museum.
I really do think it's important for kids to come and learn about animals and nature and how they, and how our world works.
Marie manned the curiosity cart, teaching kids about creepy creatures like newts, ravens, and even werewolves.
Are they alive? No, they're not alive.
The Bee Museum staff and all of their animal friends won't hold another holiday-themed event until Easter. But until then, they're waiting for you every Monday night with their live animal shows. Reporting for NewsLine, I'm Bella Erickson.
Look at this video from Alta Ski Resort. The snowstorm last night was heavy snowfall, just totally covering those ski runs with the fresh powder. And as you saw before, those snowflakes were huge. Now, many of the ski resorts are opening in about a month for the Thanksgiving holiday week, but this snowstorm isn't going to last much longer. Even today, we're just about done with the snow here along the Wasatch Front. You can see the storm that we're getting right now. It's going to move out so quickly. Look at this. We're clear for the next few days. Watch how fast that goes. So the snow isn't really going to last last long, but this is what's going to last a long time, the temperatures. Look how cool these are going to be. Morning lows tomorrow. Look how cool these are going to be. It's going to be freezing out there. You're going to want to layer. Now, because of those temperatures across the Wasatch Front, basically down to Richfield and central Utah, we are under a winter weather advisory. Look at all of these things we've got going on right now along the Wasatch Front. Very, very severe weather, mostly because of those temperatures. Can be really, really hard on our homes, on our cars, but if you've got a runny nose like me, it's hard on your body too. So our temperatures today are going to keep getting a little bit warmer, but not by much. And so we're going to continue to feel cool. Logan, 24 for the high today. Salt Lake, 26. Provo at 28. Richfield, look at this, 33, almost at freezing. And St. George, below their normal at 58 degrees for the high. Now you can see these lows again just one more time for tomorrow morning. Look at Vernal, 0 degrees. It's going to be so, so chilly. Now down there in southern Utah, even in Dixie, you guys could be getting a hard freeze, and that's because look at this, 27 degrees tomorrow morning. Now you will have sun throughout the week, and you'll get a warm up on Thursday to about 59 degrees, and you'll continue warming up throughout the weekend. So the weekend's going to be great. You'll still have some cool lows, kind of in these upper 30s and low 40s, but it's going to be really, really cool tomorrow. So make sure, even in southern Utah, to watch out for that. Here in northern Utah, our cool temperature tomorrow, 28 degrees. We will get a warm up as well into our weekend. So look at that, 50s for Saturday and Sunday. So it's really not going to be too bad for the rest of the weekend, but tomorrow is going to be that big cold day. The snow is kind of just dwindling down. We might get a few more flakes, but ooh, if you're up in Logan, you are chilly, really, really
That
cold.
is so cool. That's where BYU football plays on Saturday.
Ooh.
So
Yeah,
that's gonna be cold.
the temperatures are scary. Like, I'm legitimately scared
I know.
from what they look like.
I know. But guys, we had football off this last week, and now football is back. So BYU football held their press conference addressing their upcoming Utah State game. Find out what Coach Satake said about the quarterback situation. And the Jazz won by 1 point last night against the Suns. Next, we will show you the crazy finish to their game.
Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Come on! Go, Diane! Yeah, keep it going! Yeah! Go, honey!
If you love them enough to drive an hour to cheer them on as they get beat 11-0 in the rain, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Throw that ball, Diane! Woo! You got this!
BYU football held their press conference yesterday ahead of this Saturday's Utah State game. And now with Jaron Hall healthy, but with Baylor Romney now in the quarterback mix, Coach Satake addressed how they will decide who's going to take the reins on Saturday.
I think just competition, then, seeing who gives us the best opportunity to win. That's what it comes down to, and we'll be practicing, and they'll both get turns with the ones and the twos, and see who can make their group function better.
The 3 and 4 Cougars will kick off against the 4 and 3 Aggies at 8 p.m. on Saturday and will be vying for the old wagon wheel. But what does Diane Guanalaku really expect from Utah State fans? BYU women's volleyball outside hitter McKenna Miller was named the West Coast Conference Player of the Week. In her 2 games last week, she totaled 33 kills, added 3 aces, 4 digs, and 4 blocks. She will continue to carry her Cougars as they play on Halloween night against St. Mary's in the Smith Fieldhouse at 7 o'clock. And the BYU women's golf team is tied for 7th after the first round of the Wahine Invitational in Hawaii. The team shot a 300 in Monday's first round. Naomi Soifua led the way for the Cougars, finishing the day tied for 19th individually. The team will play another 18 holes today, followed by a 3rd and final round on Wednesday. And the Utah Jazz faced their old teammate Ricky Rubio and his Phoenix Suns last night and came out on top 96-95.
Clock runs at 5. Clock runs at 4. Mitchell on a dribble drive inside. Scoop it. And a foul! A foul with 4/10 of a second to play.
Bojan Bogdanovic finished with 29, while Donovan Mitchell added 25 for the Jazz, while former Jazzman Rubio had 10 for the Suns. The Jazz sealed the deal in the last seconds, with Mitchell making the game-winning foul shot with 0.4 seconds left. The Jazz play Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers in Salt Lake tomorrow night. We'll be right back.
Because of you, I feel not alone in this world, and you let me know that it only takes one person to make you feel wanted.
If you love them enough to relearn math so you can teach them math, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
A photo making the rounds on social media lately warranted a visit from the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile.
Jake Arsenault's school photo is now well over 30,000 shares on Facebook.
I got very excited.
The fourth grader chose a hot dog costume for the picture after a dare from his dad. The picture caught the attention of Oscar Mayer, so of course the Wienermobile paid a personal visit to Jake. Oscar Mayer also gave Arsenault an honorary hot dogger du jour certificate and named him Jumbo Frank Jake.
That is fantastic.
Jumbo Frank Jake.
I think he's going to have to change his Facebook profile to say that name.
It's going to be like, that's going to be an
with him.
accolade for years, like forever.
For the rest of his life.
Jumbo Frank Jake.
I know.
I'm jealous of him.
So now all we have to do is dress up as big pieces of meat and we'll get cool certificates and nicknames.
There you go.
Thanks for joining us today for Newsline.
For more information on our stories or to share them with your friends, check out our website at universe.byu.edu/newsline.
Have a great day.